All right, good evening, wearable fans. I'm your host this evening, Aaron Caston. With me, as always, are most of my co-hosts. We've got Cecilia all the way over. Well, I don't know where she is on your screens at home, but she's way over there for me, or over there. I don't know. Say hi, Cecilia.
Hi, everybody.
And we've got Keith next to her,
Hey everyone.
and Libby rounding out the crew for the evening.
Hi.
No Noble. He's busy doing stuff.
Startup life.
Yeah, we're going to run fast and efficient as always when I'm at the helm, probably with lots of distractions and side topics. But let's jump right into the news, I guess. We got nothing above news. So, Sony Smartwatch 3 was announced this week. I think it looks terrible. What do you guys think?
It looks like a child's toy.
Yeah, it looks like
colors.
a kid.
Yeah, I think it's the colors. I like the clasp though. The clasp is kind of cool, but it just I don't really like rubber.
I don't mind rubber at all, and it doesn't look that bad. I like the detachable band, like that you can easily swap bands. I personally don't mind rubber at all.
I do like that you can swap the bands. That's nice, and the clasp is kind of cool.
The clasp is great.
I like the Smartwatch 2. I thought the Sony Smartwatch 2 was a really nice looking watch.
There's either something wrong with your pictures, or they're really very dim screen. I don't see any bright in that screen, and that worries me right away. I'm the shiny screen person.
Yeah, so one of the features of this one was the transflective display, which is good for like outdoor stuff, but you're right, it's kind of like a dull color display. It's not very bright at all. So you can kind of see it in this picture as well. It's interesting. I think maybe if they have something besides since you can just pop that module out, if you could somehow put it into another thing, like maybe like a desk type stand or some other thing besides a watch, maybe makes more sense. But I think it's okay. I think just compared to what else we saw this week, it's just not standing out.
Yeah, I think the screen will probably save battery life. I think that's why they did it that way, but I can't get over the neon. There's got to be more bands than just the neon, I think. I'm really hoping.
Trying to create an accessory market there, probably.
Does it take standard bands as well, or is it only what it slips into?
Well, people could probably create standard bands for the Sony, but they have to be built for the Sony.
Oh no! Yeah, I was thinking, there was something weird about the top. I thought maybe it took a normal clasp, but I guess not.
I guess you could or you could encrust it with crystal, like some people have been doing.
Yeah.
You can accessorize this one pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure third parties can.
This is the first wearable device I've seen that finally uses just a straight micro USB charger.
That's true. That's
which is a plus in my case.
That is cool. That is always good.
Yeah, I've come across a couple of fitness trackers.
This is the smartwatch. There it goes.
Yeah, this is just.
I don't know. I thought this looked better.
I know the next story is a smart band.
Yeah, so I guess one other.
I like the Smartwatch 2 better.
I kind of agree with you. I feel like the Smartwatch 2 looked more like a watch. This, I'm not sure.
It has a huge bezel too. The Smartwatch 3 does.
It does, yeah. It really does. It seems like it takes away a lot of the screen space.
Look at all that bezel. So much bezel.
But you kind of have to have it if you have a holder like you do.
Yes. I mean, I would think having the holder like they do, they could hide the bezel with the holder.
Yeah, you would hope. You're right.
So I guess the one other surprise about this device was that Sony made it pretty clear in the springtime that they were not going to be doing an Android Wear device. So it was kind of a surprise that this one was.
Do you think maybe they rushed this out, and that's why it seems kind of like...
I think it doesn't seem particularly rushed, but I think they just weren't up to the same standard as a lot of their competitors. Their competitors just really stepped up the game, especially...
That's what I'm saying. Like, they could have taken the Smartwatch 2, plugged in Android Wear, a little bit better specs, and would have had a really nice looking, compelling product. I feel like this is like, okay, we got to do something for Android Wear. We want to be different. We got this list of ideas. Let's throw some darts. Okay, this cool band, this cool clasp. Yeah, we'll make it swappable. All right, cool. We got our watch. Let's do this.
These are wrap.
We got 2 months to get it done. Quick, do this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not how products work. I know, but I don't know. It feels like some cool ideas were thrown together to me.
Yeah, I will say this. I think the band is very unique. I haven't really seen anything else out there that's similar. So maybe they're trying to stand out from their competitors, from going away from a traditional watch to something that's more that looks a little bit more young, I guess. I mean, this looks like to me, this really looks like something a 5-year-old would wear.
Yeah, like a
More sport. No, you can call it a little more sportive, maybe a little more.
Well, and this is what they're just releasing with. They might have more classic designs also.
More colors.
It's a good sign, though, on the Android Wear, right? That's a very good sign for the market that will consolidate and not have 100 operating systems on wearables.
Yeah, that is true.
Sure. This is what we were hoping for.
Yeah.
I do like the look of the smart band, the blue one with the striped pattern on it. That looks nice.
Mm.
You know, like the blue stripes.
I think Samsung's band is a millions better looking than this.
Oh, I'm just talking about as far as the other ones have the horrible fluorescent neon bands.
Oh, okay. Comparing to their other thing. Okay. Yeah.
That blue stripe isn't that bad.
Did we switch over to the smart band now?
Yeah, I was just scrolling down the page.
Gotcha.
I was just scrolling down the Verge page, actually. But yeah, it's next on topic. We might as well jump to it. Unless anybody has something else they want to say about it.
No. I mean, the only thing with the smart band, I thought they were going to come out with this back in April of this year. I wonder what the hold-up's been.
Actually,
I would like to say, before we do move on, that here on Wearables Weekly, we love you, Sony, and that if you would like to send us all Sony Smart, since Noble's not here, I'm filling in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we really love Sony. It's just
they really do.
Watch. And I kind of like this watch. It's a sport watch. I will probably wear it. I don't know. Yeah. Not a big deal,
but I really do love Sony. Sony really kicked off the smartwatch game. They gambled on it well before anybody else did.
Yeah.
It's funny if I'm just making stuff up, but I could have sworn earlier this year Sony said specifically we're getting out of these devices. Like they're going to be software only. Did they not say that?
I don't remember that, but I definitely remember them saying they weren't going to do Android Wear.
Yes, I definitely remember that. I do know there's several divisions in Sony, so it's probably they may not have been communicating with each other.
Yeah. I've had this Sony smartwatch for this is the 3rd year I've had it, I think, and this was their 2nd version, so.
It's not bad for back then. Maybe they didn't do enough progress in this short time.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool, it easily disconnects.
Yeah. Their band is probably the 2nd in the market, the 2nd good looking for me. The band after the Samsung band, this one is pretty cool. At least it has actual display that you can look at.
Sure, yeah, I agree though. The Samsung band would be the one that I would go with if I were going to get a band.
Do people get bands anymore? Once we have watches that are going to do so much more, I don't believe in bands myself. I already said this.
Could the band also serve as a watch? I mean, could they put the time on band?
They probably can't put the same amount of things, right? But that's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, why couldn't it just be a different shaped or style watch?
But imagine when watches, imagine watches that start coming with GPS, with SIM cards. They're not going to be able to fit all of that on a band.
Maybe not.
The only reason is aesthetics. Maybe some ladies especially like the aesthetics more of a band than a watch.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's kind of the direction I was headed. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting, right? It's been fun watching it develop and continuing to develop, and so we'll get to see more. Let's see what Asus is working on, or is it Asus?
I don't think we ever figured that out, because I've always called it Asus, but I think it might be Asus.
I think we should just alternate. Every time we call it, we'll say one way and another.
I'm calling it Asus.
I like that.
Asus. There you go.
The Asus Zen watch. It looks all right. I mean, watches are very opinion, very very design. So I don't think there's going to be one watch that is like, oh my god, it's the iWatch, everybody has to have it.
There might be one.
I kind of disagree with that. There are a lot of fanboys out there.
Well, don't get me wrong. There will be the fanboys that are like, "Oh my God, I have to have the iWatch." But I think there will be very many. That's not.
There's going to be a lot of compelling competitors, I think, in this market. I do agree with you on this, Aaron. I think.
And we'll see the big winners soon. The people will go crazy. Like the Moto 360, we have to admit, I personally don't like it, but it's been a winner so far, except that it's not out there. And the iWatch. And the iWatch. So next time when we're meeting, we're going to have the iWatch probably already be revealed, and that's going to be a very interesting show.
I think about a year ago, we probably were making those same comments.
I think you're right, actually. It's been rumored for a while. But
I like the Asus. Going back to the Asus, I like the Asus. I'm not crazy for their band. I like more modern bands, but I like the shape. I think they came up with a pretty nice shape.
It's very elegant, more than I would have expected from Asus. Like I think of them still as like the cheap netbook company, but I know they do a lot of other stuff.
You're right.
It's definitely stepped up their game quite a lot.
It does have a fairly large bezel.
It does.
On the top and the bottom.
I feel like they tried to do something nice with the bezel at least.
Yes.
Like it's not just black bars around the side of the watch. It's it's got a little bit of effort.
Yeah, there is some style here. I think it's nice and thin. Well, it looks nice and thin in the picture. It's really hard to say unless you put it on. But
their marketing also has been kind of interesting. Not huge marketing, but nice visuals, nice, interesting visuals, and a little different than the rest.
Yeah.
I like the clock face on it. It's nice, but it's a clock face. Who cares?
It's expensive. $260.
I feel like that's the right price point.
That is perfect price.
For a
I feel
smartwatch?
like that's what a smartwatch should cost. In the like, I feel like there should be a tier of $99 smartwatches, and that should be like what that Sony smartwatch looked like, And then you'll have your nicer watches that are going to be in the like $199 to $299 price point.
Yeah, $199 to $299, pretty standard price for a watch, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think the price is a little bit high, especially because all the stories up until this point were that it was going to be a really cheap watch, maybe like $100. So to be like $250 seems a little high, but.
Yeah.
What is the operating system on this thing? Anybody knows?
Oh, it's
a Rolex costs $10,000 and all it does is actually tell time.
Yeah, that would be bad.
I think there are different reasons for wearing a Rolex.
One's a status symbol, I know.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what Asus is going for. They're like, we're going to be the status symbol of smartwatches.
That's
Maybe I should say that and keep a straight face.
They seem to be talking about Android Wear, right? On the
Oh yeah, this is Android Wear.
It's Android Wear, so.
And I like that it's got the AMOLED display. I think for these watch faces, it makes a big difference if you can have that like really, really deep black. Kind of makes it not look like a display at all.
Yeah.
That's good.
My only problem with the AMOLEDs is they don't dim well. The whites don't dim very well. They're still like super bright, which normally is a good thing. But like, when you're in a dark room or at the movie theater, and when I go to the movies, I either take my watch off. Well, actually, I do now. I turn the screen off so it doesn't it's not always on. I turn it off of always on, and then I put it in my pocket. So if I get a text message or something, it doesn't all of a sudden light up the whole area.
I wonder what that means for the battery life on this.
I don't think that I'm worried about anybody else. I just do it because I don't want it lighting up the whole area while I'm watching the movie.
Oh, yeah. But I do kind of wonder what the battery life is going to be on this, if the screen is always so bright.
I mean, it's going to be just like this, right? It's an AMOLED
well,
screen.
it's not like 100% bright. It's like the Android Wear watches now, where they go to like a default like low brightness. I think Aaron's saying it's just that's too bright for him still.
Oh yeah, mine goes off until I tap it.
In this state, well, you don't have it always on. In this state, it's too bright. I wish it would dim further than this. Like I like that it goes black and white, but I wish it would almost dim to like the lowest brightness.
Right.
So, or
mine just
give
goes
me the
off.
ability. Well, and I think that'll change when they add a sensor, some sort of like ambient sensor that can tell if you're inside or outside, or if it's bright, it can dim further. If it's dark, it can be brighter or whatever. All right, good looking watch though. Well done, Asus. Let's see, the LG G Watch R. We had a heated, not really heated, but a I would say polarized conversation in chat.
Yeah, I think for $100, it's not a bad looking smartwatch for $100. I'm not saying that I would buy it or wear it, but
Well, at least they know they're in the lower end. That's a good thing.
Exactly.
To know where you're at.
I like what they're doing. I like the top-down view of it. It looks like a watch. I mean, it looks like just one of those big watches I would see some muscly guy wearing at the gym or something. I mean, that's just, I don't know why it had to be a muscly guy or something, but that's what it looks like to me. It looks like a typical watch, so that's good. I'm sure that's probably what they were going for. I've never been a fan of watches, though, so I don't want a typical watch.
yeah, I mean, if you just want a watch that's going to give you notifications, like the bare bones, it's actually not a bad investment for $100 to kind of try out a smartwatch to see if that's something that you'll actually use.
In the smartwatch realm, definitely. This would be like if I wanted to get my cousin who loves to geek out on stuff, and like is into tech, but he kind of relies on me to introduce him to stuff. This would be a good gift for him. Like, hey, here's I'm not going to spend $100 on it. No.
I think this is the first time I'm actually seeing it like on a person, and I think the design looks okay, but this looks really huge. Unless this guy's wrist is really small.
It does look really huge.
Pretty
pretty
tall.
nice. It looks okay. It looks okay. It could be all right. This is definitely not the one I would get though. The beautiful thing about Android Wear right now though is we have options.
That's right. That's true, which is something we won't have when Apple announces.
Always loved about Android.
We probably have too many options already.
I don't know that we have too many options, but there are a lot of options. Some are definitely better than others.
Yeah, the one thing about Android Wear that I'm really kind of hoping for is there's not going to be one clear winner. Because I've always hated that when it's everybody just flocks to one product, and pretty much what everyone does with Apple is everybody just flocks to that one product.
Yeah, but a watch is such a design or like fashion statement. There's not going to be one clear winner.
I really hope not. I really hope not.
Like a phone. Okay, everybody can have the same phone. It's in your pocket. You're not out. You're not making a statement. It's not your personal design opinion. Like, I'm going to wear this on my body. I like leather bands. Or, my buddy Russell put one of those big, fat, watch bands on it. Some people like those big, fat watch bands. I don't know if I like it or not. I'm still wearing the original because I'm like, I don't care. But it's such a personal statement that I really think we'll see a lot of variants, and even I wouldn't be surprised if even Apple's announcement included some sort of like personalization for the individual.
I would be shocked if they did that. Apple is so. They're sticklers to you get what we give you and you'll like it.
I know, they haven't done that since like the Mac with the multicolored backs on them,
Which were adorable. I love those.
How many generations of iPhones came out before they even let you change the wallpaper?
Yeah. But they've got new leadership now. That's
true. That's true.
And Johnny Ives is the guy who did that multicolored back on the Mac originally, so maybe he'll bring in his design expertise.
Yeah, and I'm
sure he did. Yeah.
Yeah, they hired, who was it? Yves Saint Laurent, the designer from there. So hopefully she's had some input.
It'll be interesting. The problem will be that it will only work with iPhones and it will only work with iDevices.
This is true.
And so it will only be relevant to the people who are willingly locked into that garden, and good for them. And I really hope that something innovative and awesome comes out, because the whole like smartwatch thing and there being like what makes this special doesn't really exist yet, other than it's great for short glance notifications. And so maybe Apple has that up their sleeve, and then that can trickle out to everything else. And we'd be like, yeah, now our watches do that too.
The one thing I totally see, other than like the normal, what's that?
I was just saying, making payments from your wrist isn't going to be the killer feature. That's cool. It would be great to be able to do that, but that's not the killer feature.
I think it's where a lot of money could be made. If they could popularize it, I think if it's enough to bring them into NFC, like which they've resisted for so long.
I don't think it's going to bring them into NFC. I don't think that's. Yeah, the payment from your wrist thing, the way Apple's doing it, they really need to figure out their security before that takes off. Especially with what happened in this past week, they really need to figure out their security before I'm going to feel comfortable putting something on my wrist. And
I mean, that's fair enough, but I mean, this is a whole different type of security. This is like hardware proximity-based security, not like password guessing security. And I mean, for what it's worth, Apple already has, probably everybody on this panel has given Apple our credit card at some point, either to buy a device or through iTunes. So
yeah, that's true.
So it's not like they don't have financial information already.
Only once, and it's because I was walking by in Austin, and it was the day the iPad Mini came out, and there was a line, and I knew somebody like 3 people back, and I cut in line in front of them, bought 2 iPad Minis, and sold them both the same day. It's the only time I ever gave Apple my money. I feel like a scumbag.
Can't say the same. Yeah. More than that.
No, I've certainly bought, at least applications and stuff from them.
Nope,
I used to have an iPad that I abandoned.
I've never made a purchase on iTunes. I owned an iPod Mini or whatever the like tall skinny one was for a while, but it was a gift.
Oh, the Nano.
The Nano, that's right. I owned the Nano, and it was a gift. And I didn't use iTunes. I used something else to manage the music. I've known what Apple was all along. I never wanted to get into that ecosystem. And you're stuck. Once you get in it, you're stuck.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, truthfully, though, when you get into the Google ecosystem, you're pretty much stuck, too. I mean, all of your...
What? A way out.
Yeah, there's ways out, but...
And you can still use all of your Google services on an iDevice. You're not, like, locked into Android.
Yeah, exactly. Does iCloud work on Android? No. Thank goodness. And sometimes Apple will punish companies for supporting Android.
Well, at least Apple can do nice hardware that then Samsung can copy, and then we can get it, and it's Android. And I like that.
Yeah, that is one thing Apple does have going. I mean, I am very excited to see what the iWatch is going to look like and what it's going to do.
I'm going to give them my last season of excitement to Apple. I've already been excited for the last 3 years, and they came up with nothing.
Yeah.
So this is the last year I'm going to be excited for
I feel like they're waiting until they get it right. And that's the only reason that I'm still really excited about it.
3 years is enough. If they can't get it wrong now, it's too late in 2 more years.
Well, not to pull up a story from too far down the list, but there was Wall Street Journal was predicting that they're not going to have it until like 2015. Actually have the device. They might announce it before that.
Yeah.
But if they miss the holiday season, that's a big miss. What's that?
That'd be very un-Apple-like as well. They don't usually announce things unless they're ready like that.
No, it go back and forth. Like the original iPhone, they announced at like Macworld and didn't have it until June, like 6 months later.
But since then, what have they announced? Everything they announced at WWDC usually it gets released like immediately after it.
I'd say most devices, like as someone that's bought their laptops and stuff, I'd say most devices have at least like a month until they're available.
I thought like when they announced the processor upgrades or when they announced the new Pros, they were available like right then. They're like, okay.
Well, that's because they weren't really upgraded this time. This time it was like a little spec bump, but or like the last time the iPhones came out, they actually did have them available a couple weeks later, but they weren't really available until a couple months later when they finally had some supply.
Yeah, you're right. They do that like, well, we're gonna release some, but it'll only be like 10 per store.
Yeah. You know what's kind of messed up about it, if they do announce, but it's not going to be ready until June, is it's essentially really going to screw everybody else that is coming out with a smartwatch because you've got Christmas coming up. So people are essentially going to wait until after the iWatch is going to become available. So if they might mess a lot of people up for the Christmas season.
I think anybody that's willing to wait that long because they really want it to be Apple weren't going to buy an Android device.
Those are fans, yeah. Those are fans. The other problem with waiting is some people are already waiting outside the stores, making a line. So that would be a long wait.
Oh, crazy. Crazy. I want them to announce nothing. Like, okay, well, we're announcing the iPhone, but it's not going to be ready for another 3 months.
Oh, no, you're not going to be that lucky.
They can't miss that. iPhone is like...
No, they'll announce an iPhone 6.
The iPhone to be available that day or the next day.
With the iPhone, they can just upgrade something really stupid and silly.
They're doing it bigger and bigger, larger, and couple more simple things. Probably that would be the worst case scenario for them.
Stick an NFC sticker on the back.
There you go.
Finally.
All right, let's jump back into the Garmin Vivo Smart. And for some reason, I can't click links anymore. There we go. The Vivo Smart. I don't know anything about this. Where's Noble? He's the one that likes.
I don't want to know about these.
The only problem I see with this one is the price point. They want $200 for it, or $170 to $200 for it. Or it's essentially.
Yeah. So Garmin's had like obviously they have their really high-end devices, and they've had for the last year or so like this Vivo Fit device, which was like really just a smart band like every other one. This is a little different because I guess it does sync to your phone and it will give you messages and stuff like from your phone. You can control like music playback and stuff like that. And you can swipe, so the display like would be normally just non-existent until you tap it to sort of wake it up. But that seems to be the extent of the smart features.
I think it looks like this would have been modern like 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. With all the devices out now, I think they missed an opportunity here. They really missed an opportunity here, which is unfortunate. I mean, essentially, it kind of makes you wonder what the future is really for pure fitness tracking devices.
I think they have to become beautiful. Like the Samsung band, I almost wanted to wear it because it's beautiful. It's a little dumb, so I didn't. But I think that's where they have a space, in the beauty fashion space.
Mm-hmm. I think they probably will maintain like their hardcore fitness people that go on marathon runs and people that do really extreme stuff, because they're not trying to connect to their phone or whatever. Yeah. They might want to have some data to download later, but it's not like they don't need their messages while they're walking.
And it's nice and light. It looks like this is something that will be light and it's not going to weigh you down.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But still, I mean, Fitbit's out there with a device, Jawbone's out there with a device. I don't necessarily see anything about this device that makes it stand out from the Fitbit.
Waterproof, 50-meter, 7 days of battery. Yeah, nothing major.
Yeah, and the Fitbit is like $50 cheaper.
Yeah, and they even get the heart rate stuff. You still have to have the separate Garmin heart rate monitor, so it's not even collecting that itself.
All right, let's move on to this subject. It's like, hey, it's been 5 years. We should bring up virtual reality again because it's time. It's funny. I was talking about this with Russell earlier today, and virtual reality hasn't changed. Like, there's nothing new about it. The only thing that has changed is they're using better screens. Like, it's just a better screen. It's not the way.
No, there's the latency. There's the latency issue that they're solving, and that's huge.
Yeah. And the price. I mean, these things used to be very, very expensive, and now you're talking like $200 to $300.
It's not a better experience. It's still you're wearing a big clunky thing on your head.
It doesn't make you throw up.
Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't get you.
It doesn't make you throw up.
These are not going to be big.
I agree with you that like the general form factor probably isn't going to change for a while. You're still having to look at something, in front of your face. But I mean, the ecosystem's there. There's actually probably going to be a reasonable sized gaming market, maybe some utility market as well. But there's
another element that is huge. There's another element that is huge regarding the ecosystem, and it's Unity. And Unity is the first software platform that you can develop for iPhone, for iOS, for Android, for web, and for virtual reality in a very cheap, inexpensive way. It's one of the best tools that people have for very reasonable. Before, if you had to buy a 3D engine to render an area space, you would pay like maybe millions of dollars. You know, it was really, really expensive to build these 3D spaces. And now it's, so I think all the little pieces are coming together. So you're not going to see a huge new development. What you're going to see is it's going to happen. It's going to be out there and people are going to buy it and use it.
Well, to be honest, unless a device offers a lot more than cardboard, and I don't see this one offering a whole lot more than cardboard. You know, I'd rather spend the $20 on a cardboard.
I really wish
you're definitely not a gamer fanatic.
No, I'm not.
Who's the target audience for this?
Yeah, probably the gamers.
I think
initially the gamers, yeah.
What is that market size? I mean, I'm sure it's a big market size, but
it has to be big, please.
Gamers, how many of that market is? This just doesn't. I would not.
Oh, that is a big market. That is a big market, and this is going to come together with the consoles. So when you start putting together the consoles, all the consoles market, which is a huge market, they're going to hop on these because that's going to be the next console experience. So some of the providers haven't realized yet.
Console generation, 3 years down.
Not even 2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
So on the plus side, you know, this thing that Samsung's come out with, which we should mention is in partnership with Oculus, is not completely Samsung.
Mm-hmm.
It's I mean, it has the potential to actually be quite cheap. I mean, there's not much to it. It's just plastic and a couple of sensors, and you're sticking a phone in it, so presumably you already have the phone.
I don't really think it's about the price, though. It's just I'm probably the type of person that would buy this and then it would sit and collect dust and never get used. And I think that's pretty much what these are going to be relegated to, at least in the near term. I just don't see a real compelling value for virtual reality in the traditional home right now. There are certainly cases where, like, you maybe go into a business and you could put on a virtual reality set at a car dealership and, like, get a 3D virtual tour of a vehicle, walk around a vehicle, open a door of a vehicle, see inside.
Real estate. You're in your home and you're visiting houses on 3D. I mean, there's a lot of commercial uses.
Right.
Everything will come. This is a very young ecosystem.
Yeah, I still think
it's not young. It's been around for 30 years. It's been around my whole life.
It wasn't real. This is a real thing.
I think it's going to be. It really is going to be focused on gamers.
Remember the what was the Nintendo one? The Virtual Boy.
Oh, Virtual Boy made everybody sick though. That made people throw up.
It had that horrible red display, but it still used the like two glass optic things. I mean, it was like, I don't know. I like a lot. What I like a lot about this move is Oculus and Samsung working together. It shows me two things. One is that Oculus is definitely betting to be the one that is gonna. So they're opening up hardware. They're not the exclusive builders of hardware. They're just the VR owners, the gatekeepers. And then with Samsung, it shows me that they're also not reinventing the wheel all the time. I was expecting a whole new set with a whole new technology, but no, they're using Oculus, technology in a sense. I like this. It's a good sign. Yeah. Oculus's technology is the same technology that has been around. It's two lenses that focus your perspective so that it creates a 3D environment. It's the same thing that was the big 3D helmets from the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay, but back then it wasn't the time. It wasn't happening.
We had really terrible displays and really terrible processing power. It's the rest of the technology has made the experience better, but the actual technology of how this virtual environment is presented to you hasn't really changed.
Well, I mean, I hate to tell you, Aaron, but our eyeballs haven't really changed in a long time either. And there's not really going to be some amazing technology that's going to change the way we look at stuff.
And that's why virtual reality environments will not be successful for a much longer period of time than people think.
I do think this is much.
It's not going to be this decade. I'm going to call it right now. I'll
take that bet. So we'll talk after the show. But I'm not a big gamer.
You lost money in 1992 with all the other people that were betting that virtual reality is the next big thing.
No, I think the ecosystem is really key here. I think that there's actually an opportunity for like smaller vendors to actually develop stuff for this very quickly.
Kiosks are all going to come back. Again, every mall will have a new come check out the 3D stuff at the mall. That'll happen. It's going to just like in the 90s. It's going to happen all over again, I'm sure. That doesn't mean you'll start to see, if I have a single family member by 2024 that owns a virtual reality headset, I will, I don't know, come up with something for me to do. A single family member. And
I
then
bet you will. I bet you will.
I
If you have young kids, if you only are counting on older people, I don't know. But the next generations,
sister, my cousins,
you have to look. And I always say the same. You have to look at what kids are doing today. They are building 3D virtual worlds. They will want to live in them. This is a fact. You have to observe what kids are doing seriously. And Minecraft is a phenomenon. It's the key also of this phenomenon that is happening. But it's not the only virtual world that they're building.
But Minecraft's pulled out of Oculus. I wonder if they're going to
They'll
work with
change
Samsung.
They don't have to revisit that. That was a stupid decision.
I think it was an impulse, but
Yeah,
I mean,
that was an impulse.
frankly, I mean, this sort of decision, this partnership and stuff, gives me a little bit more faith in what Facebook might be trying to do with this platform. So I think Minecraft will turn back around. I guess
Or someone will build the 3D, virtual reality Minecraft, and that will be it.
I do feel like Minecraft would have been the potential game changer. Minecraft is so big, and the reach is so large to so many kids. But I don't really see. Well, but I'm not a gamer though. So I guess there is potentially another game out there that will have that kind of reach. But I really feel like if Minecraft came into the game, that would be a game changer.
I mean, this is one of infinite virtual world type environments. I mean, there are lots of games, and there are actual legitimate applications that take advantage of overlaying artifacts on the real world. So.
Yep, and we'll see. 2024. Let me know what you want me to do. I accept.
To try to predict something for 2024, it's just out and out crazy.
I know. I'm willing to, and I don't normally. Well, yeah, I will normally make crazy predictions, but I'm willing to take a bet on that one. I wanted to believe in virtual reality, but I've been burned.
Tell you what, I'll make it even easier for you. I will change my bet that you, by Christmas next year, will have this device.
Ooh, wow.
I've got a cardboard.
And I really hope that Samsung changes their name, in the spirit of Google Cardboard, they can just call it Samsung Plastic.
I've got a cardboard, but here it is. It's never been opened, so there's that.
There's a lot of people that said, I don't need a cell phone. You're looking right now, you are a laggard in VR space. You're a laggard in the VR space. You're the one that is saying, I don't need that, I don't need a cell phone, I don't need a smartwatch.
No.
And there they are.
I'm saying there's not a compelling use case for it yet.
Exactly. It doesn't exist, but it will soon.
Yeah, soon. They've been trying for 30 years. Maybe they'll figure it out.
But that's the story of humanity. We've been trying. Everything has been tried, like flying. Flying was tried for centuries before we could do it. That's the history of humanity. We're always going to keep trying on the things that make sense.
Virtual reality will never be successful. I'm just saying in the next 10 years it won't be successful.
Okay.
All I can do is turn it around back to, say, the 90s. I mean, up until that point, most people still didn't have a computer. And someone could legitimately say, we've had computers since the 60s. They've done, all these calculations for us. Big businesses have them, but why would we want them? And 10 years later, every single person has a couple of computers, probably.
Same with cell phones. Why would I want that huge cell phone? No, I don't need it. I don't need it at all. And it's now everybody knows.
I totally see your point. I can totally see why you would say that I am one of those people. I think that my history of predicting successes and failures in tech speaks for itself. So. I've made good gambles in the past, and I've been wrong too. So I could certainly be wrong, and I'm willing to accept that. I'm not going to eat my hat though, KGIO. I'll do some stupid things, but I don't think I could eat my hat. I really don't. I would try if I thought I was capable of it, but I don't think I could. I'll eat a really spicy pepper on air or something if we're still doing this in 10 years. Or if you want to move the date up something sooner, that's fine, whatever. But I'll stand by the 10 years. I originally was going to say 2020, but then I realized it's actually 2014 already. So
I know.
So maybe the 10 years is a little bit close, but 2020, I'll stand by that one firm. I believe there is a future for VR. I don't think we're even close to it yet. we need something like what they like. If Google Glass could be something like simple and not awkward, and I could do other things in augmented reality or experience virtual reality, maybe then we could have something.
I do feel like augmented reality it has a bit more potential than virtual reality at this point.
Yes, I'm with you on that one.
They are just two completely separate lines, and I think each of them is going to have their space, and they're not going to converge for the longest time. Eventually, they might.
You know, in light of tomorrow, I'll be traveling on a plane. All I can say is I'd really love to have this device to watch a movie on a plane. It's like a really high quality.
They would be great on planes. That is a great use case. But again, that doesn't mean they were successful as a consumer product. That's a business product. That is a brilliant use case. Or a dentist. Man, I'd love to go to the dentist and put on a virtual headset with big headphones, so I don't give me some gas. So I don't have to deal with. Oh, dentist.
Oh yeah, kids in the car. Kids in the car would be perfect for.
Oh no, car sick. They get
car sick. Yeah, I think that would be a bad combination.
Well, they were able to stop the sickness, right? So essentially, be the
not
same
100%. I think it's still sensitive. I think it's still.
Really?
It's
I don't think it would be the same as watching TV.
It's much better for sure, but.
So just to clarify, my stance isn't that VR is going to fail. It's that it will not be a successful consumer-launched product.
This isn't the time for it yet, is what you're saying.
Correct.
Okay.
The current iteration of virtual reality will not see mass-market consumer success. Although I think the airplane idea is freaking brilliant. That would be awesome. Yeah. So, or
it's okay, Samsung will just take $1 off every unit you sell. That's okay.
Yeah. I mean, so there are definitely use cases. We've spent a lot of time talking about this. I guess VR is wearable because you wear it on your head.
Mm-hmm.
We should move along, though, because we're going to run out of time, and I said we'd run quick and efficient. Moving along, the Meta M1. That was a good topic to talk about, though. Meta M1. I don't know anything about this one.
It kind of came back because we already talked about it in the show, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, we did? Oh, the Meta.
Yeah, it's like a high-end Meta watch. Meta... from Fossil.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's very pretty. It's got some pretty hardware. I think it's a bit too clunky for me, but...
Yeah, the even display isn't looking so sharp.
I don't know.
The idea, initially when this came out, I think they were competing against the Pebble, so they were going to be like the really well-designed Pebble. And the hardware does look really good, except that screen, it's just...
Yeah, it's too dull.
Too small. Too small.
Huge bezel. Huge bezel. Bezel is the enemy, people. Especially on a watch. You should have no bezel on a watch. There's no reason for it. On a phone, okay, you need a little bit of bezel, but on a watch, there's no reason for bezel. So, yeah. All right, M1.
It's supposed to be high-end. Yeah, exactly. Next.
Good try. You gave it the old college try. Baidu creates a heads-up display. Baidu Eye. That sounds fun. I like the name. Baidu Eye.
Let's see, getting the picture up here. Yeah, so this was rumored since I think last year. So Baidu, if you guys don't know already, is like the Google of China. It's a huge company. They do a lot of the same like searching and stuff. So I don't really know how it ties into this product in particular, but this is sort of like glass. You know, it sits. See if I can get a picture of it. So kind of like this image here. It sits behind the head, which I guess has a big battery. And it has a camera that extends out from one side, but there's no display, so you're pretty much relying just on audio from the device.
Interesting. They have smart chopsticks as well. That's kind of
It's on Holdables Weekly.
I saw a documentary on Baidu. It was kind of fascinating.
So yeah, I'm a little disappointed that they didn't choose to do a display on this. They just have the camera, no display. I think that's a big miss probably. Not having the display.
I think they were able to get this out so fast because they didn't have a display.
Yeah.
So their claimed reason was because it made the battery last a lot longer. Like if you want to record video, it can go for a couple of hours, I guess. But yeah, it seems too dependent on the audio. I think for myself, I'd need the display.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I mean, it's so easy to miss something that could be said if if there's noises in the background and you miss something, there's no way to know what to do. Yeah.
And they also suggested that you would be using this in partnership with your cell phone, so you're looking at the screen of your cell phone. But if you're already pulling out your cell phone,
I think your watch. I think with the watch, maybe there's something there. You are recording there, or you have a camera recognizing things there. You have the watch, but you're missing the whole AR, and that's going to become increasingly important.
I agree. Moving on, Mica by Intel. It's like a fancy bracelet with a display on it, and it's going to be under $1,000. So this is like Intel's stab at fashion, right? I mean, they're like, hey, we're going to do fashion first, and then try and make something fashionable smart. I don't particularly.
It looks really bad.
Either of those fashionable, but I know nothing about fashion, obviously. So.
I think me and Aaron have to recuse ourselves for this topic.
I do find the photos that they did kind of awkward for some reason. I felt like
I think the photos are beautiful. The models are beautiful.
Contrast. Like this really high contrast photo with like really dark woman, really pale woman.
I like the photos. I think they're awesome. I love the pictures. I just don't like the accessory. I just think like.
It doesn't seem like the photos convey anything about the band. Unless it's not supposed to, because it's
fashion. It's fashion.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about like, oh, don't worry, we'll keep it under $1,000. You're not talking about like specs anymore.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so interesting Intel. That's not what I would have expected from you. The Epson.
There's something important though to say here. Fashion and wearables are together, and some people maybe are starting to see that, and that's what you see, the weird design in Fossil. You would see this Mica thing. There's a huge link between fashion and wearables. This is something that is going to be unavoidable. So I think those attempts are valid. It's exploration. I don't think they're successful, but it's interesting exploration.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Let's jump into, man, poor Epson. Like, they should just stick to making printers, really. I mean, sorry guys, you're just not making your heads-up display. It's kind of cute and all, but yeah, no. And now the watch, the Run Sense. I guess they're going head-to-head against Garmin. They want to be like the fitness tracker guys. That looks like an old a couple of Garmin watches I've seen.
It does. I have a Garmin watch that looks exactly like that.
I think this is a horrible idea, Epson, and you should feel bad for thinking of it. But we still love you, and if you want to send us some to try, or you want to come out to the Big Android Barbecue, you're more than welcome. But yeah.
Yeah, it's like, hello, when Nike got out of the race of the bands, there's something there to be learned. That wasn't a decision to take lightly. That was a very smart move of a company that it has probably a lot of data on what's happening, and people should, maybe all these things have been on the pipeline for the longest time, and now, but I don't know. It's like too late. It sounds like too late for all these things.
It's hard.
The one thing that stands out to me, I mean, on the plus side for them, is that let me get off my shared screen.
Aerodynamic.
Is that I've had a similar watch from Garmin, and it had like at max, when it was connected to GPS for running and all this stuff, a max of 8-hour battery life, and this is claiming like 30, which hopefully they're meeting that. Maybe they can feed that back to Garmin somehow.
36, they say. Yeah. Oh, 30. No, you're right.
Of continuous tracking.
That's cool. It's got a little aerodynamic to it too, so that might help you be faster. So that's good.
I actually have a couple other bands which are down here, but.
I don't understand Epson. I guess they have a lot of money and smart people working there, and so they just put their research and development team on doing crazy projects, and that's how they come up with.
Well, to give them some credit, we have to realize that the market is so fast-paced that when you start doing your R&D in a product, by the time you produce that product, the industry sometimes has moved in 1 or 2 years completely to a whole new place, and I think that's what's happening here. So we have to be fair to all these people. They're not just playing stupid. It's just that seriously, the market is so fast-paced that it's challenging to do hardware in today's world.
It is. I agree. And I guess Epson should be commended for trying to do things that it's not done before. Stepping outside its comfort zone. But they should also they should work on trying to bring down the price of printer ink. They could like corner the market if they could come up with a.
It sounds like 3D printing should have been their next huge thing, and
they missed that one or what? All right, moving along. Poor Epson. I feel they're really trying. They're trying to do different stuff, and I'll give them credit for that. But they're missing on everything, in my opinion, at least. The Flexi keyboard allows silent messaging from the Samsung Gear S. Huh?
Okay. I just love that design. Isn't that an awesome watch? Come on.
It is nice that I guess these some of the smartwatches are being able to be more independent, because I know we've had this discussion before about having to talk to your smartwatch and how awkward that is in public. I really can't imagine how practical this is going to be for like typing. Maybe it's got great intuition about what I'm going to be saying, but I guess Samsung was convinced that it was good enough to put on a watch.
So the talking in public, I was of the same opinion, but today at the doctor's office, something came on the news channel, and I was like, man, I really want to remember to look that up later. And so while I was sitting there, I did a quick, okay, Google, remind me in 2 hours to look up whatever it was, and I just did it real quietly while sitting at the doctor's office, and I don't think anybody even heard me or even noticed, It was just like, wow, it got that.
I think it can be done. I'm trying to force myself to use more voice with my devices. I don't do it as much as I wish. I think it's just sometimes it seems like it's not that practical in the end.
It's not natural. It's not natural to feel like you're just talking to yourself.
So is it weird that I found this more comfortable while I was at the doctor's office rather than just talking to? Because I could have done the same thing either through glass or my watch. Yeah. But I chose to do it through my watch because it was clear that I was talking to something.
Right.
Yeah.
There was an indicator there. And
you can do these, like.
Hold on. I can't remember which way it goes. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if it was like if I did it just because I've been wearing my watch more than glass, or.
It's probably because of the
I just did it, I didn't think about it.
You're right. People will look at you and, okay, she's talking to him.
Yeah, especially as these become more common. So, keyboard, people rail against putting a keyboard on your watch. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, at least none of the keyboards that currently exist. The S does have that longer screen, though, so maybe it would work a little bit better.
I think part of the hesitance is because it's been done before, but usually very badly. So maybe this is the first one that's going to be better. But I wasn't really surprised it wasn't the swipe style. It seems like the swipe style keyboards where you're like drawing out a line is a little bit more. It seems like it'd be easier on this type of device, a smaller device. But as far as I can tell, Flexi just does normal tapping.
So. Okay. Well, good for Flexi. Whatever. Rumor: Apple smartwatch coming in 2 sizes. Yay, rumors. Yay, Apple smartwatch. Man, I hope they do something awesome that nobody's expecting. Like, just blows our mind. Whoa! Why didn't we think that should have been on our wrists all along?
After all the anticipation, if they don't, it's going to be such a letdown.
I don't think it's going to happen. If their big announcement is pay with your wrist, then...
It's not good enough, no.
No, apparently they're going to have a bunch of health, like humidity measurement. That's important, for like hydration, I guess. They might have a bunch of other things that, but you can't underestimate the Apple fashionable marketing factor. So there might have some kind of a wow factor that we have to be prepared to see.
Yeah, if it's cramming extra sensors in there that maybe somebody hadn't thought of. Which, personally, I think there's a lot of sensors still missing from watches, but I just assumed that was going to come with time.
Yeah, if they could do even with the Meta, what's your watch? Basis, Keith.
Oh, Basis.
It could do like continuous sleep tracking without acknowledging. If they could do all the Basis does, and a few more things, that would be pretty, and it look good at the same time. That would be pretty amazing.
It'd be useful, but I don't think Apple would go that way. I think they're definitely going to look at it as a way to like work within the iOS ecosystem and the payments. I think payments is going to be like their key thing here. So.
I would like to see these become tightly intertwined with like a smart home ecosystem as well. Because you should be able to determine your location in home pretty easily if you're wearing your watch.
You might need extra sensors in your home, yeah, probably to really locate you.
iBeacons and stuff like that. But I think there's as you're the appliances you add to your home that are smart often have some of those sensors in them already, and so as the smart home actually becomes smart, because let's face it, a lot of the smart home technology out there isn't really that smart. As it becomes really smart and things are working together, then now you've got good communication between everything.
There's a perfect relationship between wearables and Internet of Things. They kind of go hand in hand, because once you have everything in smart, you want to connect to everything and know status and alerts, and so they go hand in hand.
Well, and one thing I think is holding us back a little bit that the manufacturers just sort of settle on, it seems like Bluetooth LE or Bluetooth 4.0 is the standard that all these devices are going to use. Like there were these Zigbee and Z-Wave and some other stuff.
Wave aren't going away, but those are there'll be a bridge to connect Bluetooth through to it, I think.
But for any device like that, you have to have like a hub somewhere that you're connecting to for those, like the Hue bulbs or Sonos devices or whatever. Like they all need like some special.
Zigbee, I don't think you need a hub, but Z-Wave you do.
But I don't think any phones are going to start implementing Zigbee or anything.
No, you're right. They're not. So then technically you do need a hub because nothing can talk to it.
Well, here's my iWatch prediction is, if iOS or if Apple goes round or square, whichever way it is, by the following year, that's all we'll be able to find in stores. They'll pretty much be determining what the shape is.
I hope not. I want to see long, thin ones, wider ones, round ones, square ones. I mean, we've said it several times. Watches are a personal.
My prediction, and I did it in private today, but I'll say it here in the show, is that round watches are kind of doomed in the long term because they cannot grow. You can't have a huge circle in your thing. So I believe they're going to become more like, malleable to your wrist, and they're going to become larger. Every device we ever had, we wanted larger screens, so we're going to want that, and larger is going to go more square or rectangular and molded to the wrist.
I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. I think it's very hard to design an efficient round screen. And there's only so much you can do, and I think it's kind of it's a niche design right now, and I think because everybody was going square, they decided to go round.
It's a great experiment. It will work in the short term.
Yeah.
Let's make a prediction. What shape will the iWatch be?
Yeah, let's make that better.
It's going to be rectangular.
Rectangular.
What shape will you be able to change the band?
No.
You're saying rectangular and no.
Yes.
Cecilia?
Rectangular and yes.
Yes, okay.
Say curved rectangular and probably not. No.
So you're saying
No, I take that back. You'll be able to change it with other ones that Apple can sell you, but it won't be a standard.
Okay. But you'll be able to change.
Here. I'm going to go with round, and yes, you will be able to change the band with ones only specific to the style that, the unique Apple class.
Of course.
Patented, of course.
So we have our predictions for next.
All right, that should be good. We'll be able to revisit
writing this stuff down,
unless it ends up being pushed back another year. So yeah, there we go. All indications do point to it being a non-round, a square or rectangular display, though, don't they?
I think it's because it's Apple. Apple does everything so efficiently. I would have a really hard time seeing them coming up with a circular.
They also do everything style conscious, though, and it seems like the fashion people are leaning more towards round.
It doesn't scale.
Kind of, but the thing is, they've already got. I mean, I'm sure they're going to use iOS, some scaled-down version of iOS on this, and all of their iOS devices are rectangular. They do have different ratios, I guess, now. It used to be kind of like their thing. They only had
But
one.
I'm not sure that's an argument. They're going to design a watch, and they're going to design a watch. They're not going to look at everything they have. They're just going to design the best watch, or at least that's what they should do. So I think there's a small chance they would go around, but it's such a limited. And yeah, I think they're going more with, yeah, they are stylish, but they also go with functional user experience.
If they went with round, then this device really isn't coming out for a while, because they're going to have to spend a while letting developers get their apps up to date for a round screen. I mean, you can't just like say, hey, make that round. Like, developers have to really plan for it.
I would suspect they're going to have to get developers up to date no matter what. Like, apps aren't just going to translate over to that.
Right, exactly. Well, I'm actually going to have to hop off for now because I've got something at 8. But I will. Right. So I'll sign off now. I will see you guys next week.
See you next week. Lightning round. Let's do this quick. All right. Rumor: Android Wear 2.0 on October 15th. Do we think that is accurate? Do we care? Yes, we care. Do we think it's accurate?
Sorry, I got distracted. What did you say?
There's a couple of different rumors. So one is that the Android Wear is coming out on the second version is coming out on the 15th, but that the LG Watch R is coming out on the 14th. So probably if those are going to be synced up, it'll be just one day. But you wouldn't expect the G Watch R to be out before Android 2.
Yeah. That's cool. It's supposed to add additional functionality. That's cool. Independent GPS functionality. Does that mean that all of these have GPS in them already, or?
It means that if it has a GPS chip in it, it can use the chip without syncing to a phone.
And playback from on-device music.
Oh, sorry, music. Yeah. So like the idea basically here is like, okay, you're going to the gym, you don't want to bring your phone, or you're going for a run or whatever. Like you can play back music from your watch to your headset, like Bluetooth headset, or do GPS navigation, but you don't have to have your phone.
Cool. All right. Great. Rumor LG Watch R. Okay, we covered that. We're good. Misfit Wearables releases an SDK with 30+ partners. Runkeeper, MyFitness. So should companies even announce that they work with If This Then That anymore? I mean, really, it's like if you don't work with it, then you should announce that.
Something's wrong with you.
Work with IFTTT. I'm sorry, guys, we just don't. That should be the announcement. If you work with it, we expect that. Can access just the company's proprietary algorithms and analytics software for tracking activity and sleep, and use these raw data gathered by their own software or hardware accessories. That's kind of cool. Okay. Yay. Next. Samsung Gear S. This is stupid. They put crystals on it. They do this with everything.
Totally.
Ugh. Thank you, whoever wrote that. Was that you, Keith?
Yeah. Not the target demographic here.
Yeah, no. That's just to make news, right? Like, are there people that actually buy that crap? I don't think so.
News sounds like marketing.
Yeah, it's a marketing ploy. All right, Oculus Rift consumer price range, $200 to $400. The source is the founder. No timetable for launch, likely the second half of 2015, and they promise substantial games available at rollout, but probably not Minecraft. That's great. Congratulations. I hope you sell tens and thousands. I doubt you'll sell millions, though.
Oh, I have breaking news. Apparently, the Wall Street Journal just did a review on the Moto 360, and it's like super negative, like completely bashing the thing.
Oh no! I saw that they had leaked.
I saw the video. Yeah.
Is it earlier?
Well, there was a video right before the show where the girl was kind of hesitant about it, but is the actual article out too?
I don't see the article. I just see the video too. Yeah.
I didn't watch the video, so I can't really comment on what they said.
I didn't watch it yet.
What did they say that was so bad about it? Oh, you haven't watched it yet.
At least according to the video, flat tire wasn't good, and it was too big for her wrist.
Flat tire? Oh, having the flat part bottom. Yep. I don't understand the big complaint about watches being big. I thought all watches have been big for a long time. I mean, my sister used to have a huge freaking bedazzled watch, and I was like, why do you wear that big giant watch? And now it's like, oh no, that smartwatch is just too big for my wrist. I don't get it. I don't know why I did that voice either.
Yeah, not good.
That was my like Southern film. That watch is just too big for my wrist. I don't know. Anyways, New York City events, woo! New York City Google Glass Hackathon, September 6th to the 7th, $25
That's this
per
weekend,
ticket.
huh?
Yep, that's this weekend. Yep.
Alan Furstenberg is judging. All right, go. It's this weekend. Intel Developer Forum on the 14th, or Forum 14. There's nothing else about
Yes,
it.
that's Tuesday through Thursday next week. First day, all of the sessions that are announced have to do with wearables, so hopefully we'll have some more stuff to talk about then, and I'll be going that day, so I'll try to get as much information as I can.
I was hoping I could make a big barbecue announcement, but I didn't hear back, so we're not going to do that. The Big Android Barbecue, number 5. We have some exciting stuff to announce, but I just can't say it yet. But the people in this hangout know about it, and they will back me up on how exciting it is and amazing. And you don't have a ticket, you should buy it right now. You don't want to miss it. I can't wait to share it. I've been trying to make this happen for 5 years, and it finally happened. So you're gonna want to come this year. I'm telling you. If you canceled your ticket, rebuy. Yeah, I wish I could say it. I want to say it so bad. I want to tell the world. I'm so excited, but I can't. And then finally, MoDev. No, 2 more. MoDev is doing a Wearable Plus Things conference this October in DC. About 1,000 attendees are expected. They may have a Google Glass DevRel person as part of a keynote. I thought that was already determined, but maybe not. And then there's the GG DevCon. I guess that's the Google Glass DevCon. Discounts until September 10th. If that's anything like their other DevCons, it's probably like $1,200 for a ticket, and I don't know. It's probably a great event. I don't want to bash another event, but I wouldn't go. Anyways, if you attended I/O, don't forget to submit your Moto 360 address by 9/5. I think
Tomorrow.
I did that a while ago.
I have to defend a little bit GG DevCon. They're awesome people, great speakers. A lot of them we know, John Fig and Alan Furstenberg and our friend Tejas Jarvi. So it's going to be a great conference.
Awesome.
If you and 3 days just dedicated to Glass. So if you are into developing for Google Glass, this is a good place to be. Everybody that will be there will be just glassing out. So check it out.
Hey, and if you need advice on how to publish your Google Glass app, develop for Android Wear.
And there's going to be, well, Matt Abdu is going to be there speaking as well. Yeah.
Yeah, except his session's irrelevant now. Because there's no, like, developing, publishing for Google Glass. It's you publish for Android Wear now. Or you might as well. If you want to get your app out there, that's the way to go.
This is one way, yeah.
Anyways, it doesn't matter. Matt's speaking. It is a really good lineup, but their conferences typically are very expensive. That was my only reason. I didn't mean to sound like I was bashing it.
No, it's okay.
They do put on really great events. And they're in the Bay Area, so there'll be lots of...
And at that event, we're going to launch a remote. It's going to be actually there to be sellable, and there's going to be a lot of other glass projects that are going to be launched the first night of the conference. So it's going to be a cool event.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice. All right. Well, then that wraps it up. I got nothing else. Anybody else have anything to talk about?
Nope.
All right.
Big week.
Come back next week. Visit us. Hang out. Tell us what we get wrong. Tell me to eat my hat. Whatever. I don't care. Make sure you hold me to my word that VR will not be in everybody's home by 2024 or 2020, whenever. I don't know. 2034. It's never going to happen. No, it will. I'm just kidding. All right. Have a good night.
Okay.
See you guys.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Before I